Namaskar दोस्तों. In today's video, we are going to review the results of Muthoot Finance. So the Q1 FY27 results of Muthoot Finance are out, and from the face of it, they do not look that positive. This is what the brokerages have to say. So the response to the results has not been very positive. But what we'll try to do is we'll try to go beyond numbers and try to deconstruct the result, because I think there is a different reality over here which we'll kind of try to understand, right? तो ये समझने की कोशिश करेंगे so that we get an understanding कि अगले 3 से 4 क्वार्टर में where this stock or where the profitability of this company could go, right? So NBFC है. So whenever we analyze NBFCs, we refer 4 parameters to analyze NBFC. The first parameter is the cost of borrowing, which I think is the most important parameter, because banking is a commoditized business. आपको सस्ते से सस्ते में पैसा उठाना है और उसको सस्ते से सस्ते पे lend करना है, because if you don't do that, and if you're an NBFC, a bank would come and take market share from you. So cost of borrowing is a very important parameter for any lending business, and the cost of borrowing in case of Muthoot Finance has improved, right? So there's an improvement of around 15 to 20 pips with regards to cost of borrowing. I'm not surprised, right? Even if the environment is very, very bad, a company like Muthoot Finance will perform better on cost of borrowing, because it's backed by a very strong parent, plus it's a double A rated NBFC. Bajaj Finance is triple A rated NBFC, तो वो एक थोड़ा ऊपर है Muthoot Finance से. But Muthoot Finance from the cost of borrowing side never surprises or never kind of lets down its investors, right? The cost of borrowing has improved in Muthoot Finance. So this is one parameter. The second parameter is asset quality. आप एक lending business में पैसा बांटना बहुत आसान है, पर उसको recover करना बहुत मुश्किल है. But यहाँ पे इतना load नहीं है, because it's a heavily collateralized business, because gold loans is what we're talking about. 88 to 90% of the loan book is in gold. छोटे मोटे यहाँ पे MFI या फिर home finance या personal loan के businesses भी है, but the major business 90% Muthoot Finance is known for gold loans. It's not known for any other kind of loans. So it's a heavily collateralized book, तो यहाँ पे लोड लेने की भी ज़रूरत नहीं है. And the asset quality has improved. So if you look at credit cost, it has improved. If you look at GNPA, NNPA, if you look at do you find early stress in 30-day bucket, 60-day bucket? Absolutely not. So asset quality पे भी this company has performed really well. So cost of borrowing have improved. Asset quality has improved. Third parameter, growth. How has been the growth of this company? Phenomenal growth. तो अगर आप loan book growth या फिर AUM growth देखोगे, तो year on year it's 43%. Year on year it's 43%. Sequentially it is 5%, which is fairly decent. But when you're analyzing gold loans, you also need to look at the AUM per branch. मतलब the fact that it's a very heavy infrastructure laden business, क्योंकि gold loan आप online नहीं दे सकते. You have to take the gold whenever you are giving out a loan. तो branches खोलना बहुत important होता है. So even if you look at the AUM growth per branch, that has increased 40%. So solid growth. 43% का AUM growth है, 5% का sequential growth है. सब कुछ बढ़िया चल रहा है. So why the results are not considered great, or why the market is not happy about the results, right? The NIM of this company, the net interest margin, has contracted, and it has contracted by around 3%, right? So net interest margin, the profitability of the business has contracted by 3%. And why it has contracted? So there are two reasons, right? One, एक तो क्या है, OPEX cost है, मतलब cost to income is another metric, another parameter. OPEX cost of running the business has gone up. तो आप, जैसे मैंने कहा कि गोल्ड लोन आप ऑनलाइन नहीं दे सकते हो. गोल्ड लोन के लिए आपको ब्रांच खोलनी पड़ती है, वहाँ पे लोगों को इंस्टेट करना पड़ता है. यू हैव टू बाय दोज लॉकर्स वेयर इन यू स्टोर दैट गोल्ड. ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, लॉजिस्टिक्स, ऑल दीज आर operation cost which a gold loan company or gold finance company has to kind of incur. So cost to income, or the OPEX cost, has increased, which kind of ate into the profitability. This was one thing. The second thing, the yields have gone down. Yield का मतलब क्या है? तो पहले जो गोल्ड लोन या पिछले क्वार्टर में गोल्ड लोन 21% पे, the rate of interest for a gold loan was 21%. Now the yield is 17% or 17.5% or 18%. So 3% से quarter on quarter the yields have gone down. Now whenever I see the yields going down, the rate of interest on which the loan is given by the bank, it has come down, or the NBFC has come down. तो मेरे दिमाग में सिर्फ एक क्वेश्चन आता है कि is the bank compromising on pricing to get volume? मतलब अगर सिंपल भाषा में समझाओ तो let's say you have a shop, you're selling sandwiches and you sell each sandwich for like 20 rupees. You're selling 50 sandwiches in a day. So in order to sell 100 sandwiches in a day, would you reduce the price from 20 rupees to 10 rupees? Right? If you're doing that, that's not great business sense. You're compromising value to get volume. Yeah, you're trying to double the sandwiches you sell in a day by reducing the prices by half. तो मेरे दिमाग में हर वक्त या फिर जब भी आप कोई NBFC या बैंक का रिजल्ट एनालाइज करते हो और जहाँ पे आपको यील्ड कंप्रेशन मिलता है कि यील्ड कम कर दिए गए हैं, you need to ask this question: is the bank compromising value or compromising pricing for volume? That is not the case. So it is not the case in case of Muthoot Finance. Yes, the NIM has contracted, the OPEX cost has increased, which is one of the very important reasons for the NIM to contract, but the bank is not compromising on value to get volume, right? तो पिछले क्वार्टर में जो हायर यील्ड्स थे वो इसके वजह से थे कि देयर वर सम रिकवरीज दैट दे मेड इन प्रीवियस क्वार्टर, which kind of the legacy recoveries बोलते हैं उनको, that's why the yield expanded. तो ये जो 18% पे आए हैं, this is fairly normal. One need not worry about the fact that volume has increased so much and yields have gone down. तो वो डर तो नहीं, but वो problem, the question which need to ask when you see yields cooling off is ki, are they compromising on value to get volume? They are not, right? So this is one thing, right? So that is where the profitability of the company has come down, and that's why the PAT growth sequentially has been a negative 16%. So this is the truth about the results. What could be expected in the future? That is the main question, right? So the gold prices have kind of risen a lot in the last 1 year. They've corrected as well. This is one important reason for the craze for gold loans and the competition that you see in gold loans. तो पिछले साल ये company 40% से grow की थी AUM growth. In the next 1 year, that growth could come down, right? The gold prices are cooling off. In another year or so, I think, this is my personal assessment, that the gold prices would go up, but we won't see the kind of crazy bull market that we saw in gold last year. तो 40% जो top line growth वो नहीं sustain करेगी company अगले साल. It will cool off and it will come to maybe a 20-25%, which looks like a reasonable growth. So there will be some cooling off on the top line part. The second thing, will margins expand? जो ये 21 का 18% हुआ है, yield जो कम हुआ है, क्या वो बढ़ सकता है या फिर मार्जिन निम एक्सपैंड हो सकता है? नो. सो द मैनेजमेंट हैज गाइडेड दैट द निम्स आर नॉट गोइंग टू एक्सपैंड, दे आर गोइंग टू स्टे वेयर दे आर. सो वी नीड नॉट सी अ लॉट ऑफ निम एक्सपेंशन एज वेल. बट one very important development that has happened recently with regards to gold loan business, and the regulator has kind of added tailwinds over here, is that they have increased LTV from 75% to around 85%. तो क्या होता है, and this happened on the small ticket size loans. तो ना क्या है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल लेट्स से यू हैव गोल्ड, यू वांट अ लोन ऑफ 1 लाख रुपीज़. तो पहले जब आप इनके पास जाते थे गोल्ड लोन बिजनेस के पास, तो वो लोग आपको 75,000 का लोन देते थे, राइट? 1 लाख का गोल्ड आपसे ले लेते थे, कोलैटरल 1 लाख का है, बट द लोन गिवन इज 75,000. नाउ द रेगुलेटर वांट्स टू मेक गोल्ड लोन बिजनेस अ वेरी competitive business. The regulator wants more loans, more gold loans to be given. So regulator बोल रहा है कि यार, for the 1 lakh loan that you collect, you pay around 85,000, so that people take more gold loans instead of going for personal loans or credit card loans or other sorts of loans, right? So there is a tailwind which the regulator has given to this business, and a lot of things depends on the gold price as well, which I think would pick up in the next 1 year. But the AUM book, which the company has been growing at around 40%, that's something which is going to cool off, and the margins are going to stay where they are. So this was the guidance which was given by the management of this company. Thank you very much for your time. Take care. Bye bye.